Welcome, my dear students. Our lesson today talking about properties of matter. Through these properties, we can separate mixtures consist of two or more materials. Because making a mixture is a physical change, you can separate a mixture using the physical properties of its parts. What is meant by physical change here? Physical change means the change in the shape or appearance of the substance, but not in its structure. So, the physical properties of matter remain as it is. So, the first method for separation, if we have two substances, one of them floats on water and the other sink in water, so we can use floating. Because floating is a physical property, you can use it to separate some mixtures. Just add water and scope of the objects that float. Using floating is a suitable method to separate a mixture of cork and coin. Number two, evaporation. The second method for mixture separation is called evaporation, and this method is suitable for mixtures consists of two components. One of them is water and the other is solid matter like salt, sugar, or even any other salts. Using this method, we must heat the solution to separate water in the form of water vapor and the solid material as salt or sugar are left behind. You can also use tools such as sieve and the magnet to separate mixtures. First, using the sieve. Sieve is used in separating a mixture like a mixture of sand and sea snails. Sand can pass through the small holes of the sieve, leaving the snails on the sieve. The last method is using the magnet. Magnet picks up matter that contains iron or all matter that can be described as magnetic material. A giant magnet can separate iron from plastic and other materials in a junk yard. So, if we have a mixture like plastic bowls and paper clips, we can separate this mixture using the magnet. Okay, why? Because the magnet attracts paper clips as they are made of iron and leave the plastic bowls, so we can separate iron or things made of iron easily by using the magnet. Question for exercise. The question said, if you have mixture of sand, paper, clips, and wood pieces. And wood pieces. Mention the method of separation. Note, you can use more than one method. Okay, so our mixture here consists of three components, not two, three components, which are sand, paper clips, and wood pieces. So, what are the steps to separate this mixture? The answer: step 1. Step 1. Think with me. What is the step 1? Using water for floating to separate wood pieces first, or using magnet to separate paper clips, or using a sieve to separate sand. We have 2 or 3 ways to use, but I want you to think in using the easier way to separate this mixture. So first we will use the magnet to separate paper clips. Excellent. Use the magnet to separate paper clips which are made of iron. Now step number 2. What will happen now? We have a mixture without the paper clips. It consists only of sand and wood pieces. So if the sand and wood pieces different in size, we can use the step, or if they have the same size, we can use floating to separate wood pieces, then evaporation to separate water and sand. I will consider here sand, sand and wood pieces are the same size, so the separation becomes more difficult because we will use extra step. So the next step, step number 2, we will use floating to separate wood pieces. So floating to separate wood by adding water. So step number 3, we will use evaporation. Why? Because water is added, so we must separate water from sand by evaporation. By increasing the temperature of water and sand, water evaporates in the form of water vapor, leaving the sand behind. And by reaching the third step, we can separate all of our components in the mixture, each component away from the other component. Please try to answer the quiz on Classera and the assignment. Thank you.